Another episode here of the WTF. What's the format here every Wednesday night at 99 WNRR? I am Mike.
I am Joe. Welcome, everyone.
Guys, good to be here. Make sure that we are recording this and going out live everywhere here on the YouTube and, of course, over 99WNRR.com. Thanks to those guys for having us along for the ride over your interweb speakers, or you can use your Alexa or anything like that. Just ask it to play 99WNRR.com on TuneIn or 99WNRR.com on TuneIn, and it will play 99WNRR for you. So welcome to the program. I was going to say, how are you? But I saw you a couple of days ago. So,
yeah, I still look good and I still feel fine.
So we don't get a chance to hang out as much as we'd like to, but this past couple of days ago, we were together for my daughter's shower, her baby shower. She will become a mother, and I will actually become a grandfather come the end of September. So, by the way, I'm doing coffee tonight.
And then that's such a nice mug.
It is a nice mug. You guys can get this one at our store, porkrollapparel.com. And you could get any one of these, support the program, WTF shirts and hats and the whole 9 yards. It's time to vote for WTF. It is an election year after all.
Yes, it is.
So, but before we get into what we usually call the news, that boom, there was a noise that people were talking about in where we were for the shower, which was the town of Waretown. And people were talking about a big explosion that happened. Well, found out that that explosion that happened was actually a meteorite passing through and actually creating a sonic boom.
And
I'm not talking about the Kiss record.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can we call it that, or did Gene trademark the word sonic boom as well?
He might have trademarked sonic boom.
Well, maybe it's because people want to hear that over this.
Copyright 2000 whatever. Gene Simmons Industries. We have to pay him $5. So, but yeah, that's what that was. And you know what's concerning me is that what no one's talking about because of what happened on Saturday, and we will get back to that because we would be remiss if we did not, we'd be ignorant if we did not at least address it, not in a political faction, because we do not talk politics at all. But to not talk about it would be ignorant of us to do so, as we are a live cast. So, but yeah, anyone concerned that a meteorite came so close to the Earth that it actually created a sonic boom in the atmosphere? Anybody? Just off the top.
I don't think so.
Anybody care?
I can't even, I don't even want to say the phrase, but yeah, something kind of took away from that. Something kind of topped it.
Which was funny because in the way that nobody talked about it at the shower, not one person, which was, I found like, wow, no one said a word. So, but we'll talk about that now in a little something we like to call WTF News. Okay. All right. So, again, aside from the politics, we don't get into that because there's just too much to talk about with that stuff. But people act like it's something that's like a rarity. People got to realize this has happened roughly. Well, it actually happened every 10 to 15 years. Now it's been a long time because the last one was Reagan. But we've had a history. If you look at the history, we have had a history of assassination attempts on presidents and successful attempts. And we've also had attempts at candidates as well. So yes, we're not immune to that. It's just amazing to me. Did you see the graphic, Joe? Did you see the graphic that they put up? It was kind of like they did a wireframe of his head, and they did, I think it was the forensics people who did all that and showed where the two bullets, it was a second bullet that hit his ear. It wasn't the first. It's a second bullet. So it went pop, pop. And
Right.
there's a wireframe and his mouth's moving to the audio recording of him talking. And it's amazing. It's amazing what happened, dude, because just as he turned, literally just as he turned, one, two, I,
Yeah.
the one thing we were talking about that, all these other things that happened to others, even JFK was a delay. And even then it wasn't a great coverage. We've never seen a live assassination attempt. Could you imagine 60 cameras on that person, on him, as that happens?
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine?
I
You couldn't fathom what it would have done.
Yeah, it was certainly one of those circumstances where yeah, the outcome, had it gone a different way, things right now would be monumentally different.
Yes, I
And
agree.
not in a
Not a good way.
no,
Not in a good way. There would
no.
be there would be there would be mayhem. There would be absolute mayhem. So, but
Yeah.
you know what? And again, not a political statement. You know,
No, this has
any
nothing to do with this side, that side,
no,
up,
no,
down, left, right.
not at
It's about a
all.
human being
Right. It's about a
that,
human being, and thank God that did not happen.
right.
Okay. Um, and speaking of things about the nation, did you happen to hear this?
For the land of the free.
This is the national anthem at the home run derby
Oh yes.
on Monday. Oh, and this. Here's the thing. This proving to you that I'll guarantee you that 90% of these artists that are out there are auto-tuned, because I don't I she the excuse that she used, Joe, is that she even admitted herself into
A
a
rehab.
rehab facility, right?
Yeah, she
She
was on
was
the sauce.
she was on the she said she was drunk. Now
Yeah.
look, I've been a beneficiary of some amazing vocal coaches. All right. Even hammered, I can sing in key. Hammered. And I'm not even singing right now. She is currently an artist that
Yeah.
trains every day. And you're going to tell me that you were too hammered to sing a song correctly? Wait a minute. Hold on. Who was allowing you that drunk to go out on the field in the first place? Someone caught a load of you, and you were like, what?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's one thing to take a shot or two before stepping out, but to take, several, you know, to take,
yeah.
a lot. No, that's unprofessional. But yeah, truth be told, never heard of this individual. And
Neither
I
have
think
I.
right now, Roseanne Barr is sitting back laughing, going, okay, the target's off me.
Yeah,
She
pretty
just passed
much.
the torch.
Yep. I'm
She
even
just sent her a
even
text and said, by the way, thanks.
or even Michael. Michael uh rockets. What are you doing? Trying to block the glare from the lights I think it happened in Fenway Park. I think it happened in Boston. That's where I think he screwed up. You don't mess up in Boston. You want to mess up down. I want to mess up at the home run derby. I guess that's about the safest place to mess up, because
Pretty
there's not
much.
many people tuning in. But man, when you mess up at the World Series or the All Star game,
Oh,
and you're in
yeah.
the middle of or the league championship series, you're in the middle of Fenway Park.
Oh, people are going to get wicked pissed out there.
Wicked pissed. What a loser! I can't even do that right. So today we're gonna do our top 10 guilty pleasures. What's a guilty pleasure? Something that we wouldn't openly admit in public as to far as the who we would like. But we will give you our top 10 here on the show today. We'll talk about more. And if you guys want to have us do a top 10 list, no matter what it is, keep it to music because that's what we do.
Music, movies, soundtracks.
Yeah, you can go. You can go movies. Yeah, that's right. We got a couple
I think I
movies.
saw a movie or two. I might know some movies.
Send it to us at WTF at WTF cast. Mike, no, WTF at WTFcast.com. That is WTF at WTF cast. What the at WTF at WTFcast.com. And you will get a personal message from myself or Joe. And make sure you send it. We're also got sports ball coming up later on in the program as well. Of course, we play to give out some of our free swag. This, by the way, this is what swag is, and some more stuff that we will send out to you listeners. So Joe's gonna do his best to win something for one of you guys tonight. I think we're gonna be playing. I'm gonna pick somebody in the chat right now. You know what? I'm gonna pick Leslie. That's in the chat right now. You have to be in the chat room, by the way, for you to get selected. So I've got some great questions for sports to prove that Joe really does know. He says he doesn't know sports, but I'm going to prove to you that he really does know sports, even though that he has a shirt that says sports ball. It really does. I'm going to prove to you that he really does know sports, even though he doesn't want to admit it. But that's
yeah.
All right. So we're going to go through our guilty pleasures here on the WTF. So here we go. You are at number 5. What do you got?
Oh, okay. My number 5 has a comma in it because my number 5 is Journey after Steve Perry left. I'm still a fan. Still bought Arrival, bought Generations, bought the Revelation, where they
that's a
did
gutsy
the covers,
move.
they did the original.
Nice.
Somewhere floating around, I got an Eclipse.
Did you see that tour? Did you see the Arrival tour?
No.
I did. And it was the beginning of all Steve O'Gary's From Tall Stories.
Wild on the Run.
Yep. Great song. It was the beginning of his vocal issues from trying to match Steve Perry every night. Dean Castronovo, who, by the way, if you guys can go to YouTube, you would be remiss if you didn't do this. Look up Journey Through Time. It's a short few club dates that Neil Sean did with Dean Casanova on drums and lead vocals, Greg Rowley on keyboards and lead vocals, Mark Mendoza on bass, and some other cat playing keyboards as well to back him up. I remembered Marco Mendoza. Does an acoustic version, or at least like this, small little version of Stay a While with Dean singing lead vocals, and they go right into Trial by Fire from Trial by Fire. You don't even have to be a Journey fan. It's one of the best live moments I've ever seen. You have to go and check this out if you haven't done it already. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
And what did you think?
The man has it. The song sounded incredible. The man has an amazing voice.
Yeah.
Even with the Revelation that comes with a DVD, he's on this singing Mother Father,
which is what he did. I think he did 2. He did Still They Ride when I saw them, and he did Mother Father. And he backed up Steve a lot. He was the shadow vocalist.
Hearing that, I was like, that damn, what the hell they need Arnell for? Just throw him up there. Why not? But
yeah,
nobody wants to go and watch a drummer sing.
Doesn't want to watch a drummer sing, and he's got to have a checkered past.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah, he does things that you should.
Yeah, we
have done. All right, so I'm going to go number 5. This is a band that I have loved from day one. That came out in the 80s. They started in the 80s. Liked by the critics, maligned by a lot of the mainstream fans because they were too adventurous, too Beatle-esque. Very hard to get this record on vinyl. I was able to find it. I couldn't believe that I found it because it's actually from the original pressing. And I love this band. They are one of the just like Cheap Trick. One of my guilty pleasures is Enough's Enough.
Oh yes.
This record is amazing. Forget Fly High Michelle, forget New Thing. Some of the other grooves in here are just a Little Indian Angel for now. Kiss the Clown, one of my favorite songs. She Wants More, just nasty, dirty grooves. Love this band, love this record. My favorite album by them is an album called Paraphernalia. Incredible record. Go find that record and go check it out. It's called Paraphernalia by Enough's Enough. It's available. They did a copy of
Cover.
They did a cover of Everything Works If You Let It by Cheap Trick. Out of this world version of it. I like it better than the original, believe it or not. And that's saying something with Cheap Trick, my all-time favorite band. So Enough's Enough is my number 5. What do you got for number 4?
Number 4? I got a question for you with number 4.
Yeah.
And that question is, what's new, Pussycat?
Dude, I want to start doing the Carlton now.
Yes. Who? It's Tom Jones. Period.
Do you remember the Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck hour every Tuesday night?
No, I do not.
They used to go back to back. It was a variety show. I think it was, I can't remember if it was 30 minutes each. It might have been an hour each, but for 2 straight hours, you would get Tom Jones variety show, and then you'd get Engelbert Humperdinck variety show. So back to one from Wales, I believe Engelbert Humperdinck is from Canada. Not sure,
but Tom, I've heard of Tom Jones, but what attracted to me was I was one of the few people that watched the Jerky Boy movies. And in that, he did a cover version of Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? Which is fantastic. He took it, made it his. And next day, bought the soundtrack. And it's been at parties, it's been on, I give it to everybody. I'm like, you need to hear this. What he does to it is so good. And it made it, like I said, he had a nice little twist to it. And it's just, if you have not heard it, look it up, do what you can to find it. I don't know. I can't find it on YouTube. You got to get the whole album and just fast forward on YouTube. Do what you can. But if you need to hear him sing that one. But Tom Jones, can't go wrong.
Cool. What pipes?
Yes.
Some of the best pipes I've ever heard in my life.
Hell yeah.
So, amazing strength. Okay, we get to my number 4. This is a given. You got into a lot of fights over this band. Own everything that they've ever put out. Sometimes in triplicate, cassette, CD, and album. Yes, Gene, you got my money, but of course it is. You wanted the best, you got the best. It's Kiss.
It's that Kiss with that disco song on it. It's got that disco song.
Oh, actually, I'm a plumber. Ack.
Oh.
Hey, I got a piece of pipe backstage I'd like to show you. Hey, my name's Ace Frehley. What's yours?
And it is a good album.
Thank you.
It really, really is.
Of course, coming to a store near you. Kiss condoms, Kiss Coca-Cola, everything with a K in it. Thank you.
And I bought that album. The best story. I was with my father. I was like 10 years old. Drove past the record store in Union Center. It's not there anymore. Melanie Records. I said, "Oh my God, it's a new Kiss album, Dad." Pulled over, handed me a 20, and goes, "Go ahead, go pick it up." Ugh. And I was like, "Oh, really?" He was like, "Yeah, it's a new Kiss album. You're a fan, go get it." And bought it, listened to it a lot. And it wasn't until years later that I discovered that Charisma is not the first track on the first side.
And they still kept that with the reissue. This is the 180-gram reissue.
Because the back of the album, it says the first track.
Yep, it still says Charisma. And if you look at go inside the album, the first track is I Was Made for Love You, side 1, track 1.
So I never listened. I barely listened to that song. I loved Charisma. I still love Charisma.
I know. I know.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
I
Sandwich.
I like the deep cuts and the odd stuff. So
All right. What are we up to? 3?
I think we're up to 3.
You're up to 3.
Yes, and I'm going with a very, very popular actress. She's known for more or less pop and dance. She sang a title track in one of the all-time greatest comedy movies on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular case, she toned it down, she stripped it down, played more acoustic, more basic, and that's Miss E.G. Daly. Uh, Tearing Down the Walls is this album, and heard about it, bought it, play it all the time. If you haven't heard it, please give it a listen.
Mm-hmm.
She does mainly pop and dance, and she's known for being Tommy Pickles, and she was in Pee Wee's,
Tommy Pickles.
and yeah, of course I got it autographed because
I know.
yeah,
Because you got
crush. But definitely one of those albums that nobody heard about unless you know who this individual is,
yeah.
and I highly recommend it. At least give it a listen. Except you can't tell Alexa because EG means example. So good luck finding it.
Yeah. Right.
So you're gonna have to buy the disc.
Yep. You're gonna have to go out there and get it. All right. What do you got? This would be number 1, but due to a certain lady, got knocked back to number 3, but still would be 1C, I guess, or 1A, 1AC. I don't know. But I say, find me a better voice in the history of music, and I'll tell you right now, you can't, Karen.
Oh no, that is an effortless voice. That just natural ability, no effort.
This is the original.
Willing to bet that
pressing with
she
the
sang the
embossing.
national anthem plenty of times,
Mm.
very, very well.
Yeah, this is the actually the original pressing with the embossing.
Nice.
After that, it didn't come out. It didn't have the embossing. So this was.
I think I got one that it opens up like an envelope.
Let me see. You mean like these?
Yeah, very. Yeah,
Yep, that would be your first pressing. They didn't do that.
but
After all.
that
Amazing record. Yeah, and like you said before, many times. I mean, blows away most guys on drums.
oh yes. If you haven't seen that video on YouTube where she does the whole thing with several drum kits and runs around and plays everything.
Yeah, that's crazy. That comes from the variety show.
Yes.
That comes from the variety show. Number 2, what do you got?
Number 2. Number 2 is the Rodney Dangerfield of rock or hair metal or whatever you want to call it. And that's Winger. I'm a fan. And of course, this is their latest album because they survived the 80s and they kept making music. And this is 7, which is their 7th album.
Mm-hmm.
But all of their albums are good. I just heard that first one and just became a fan and just ignored what everyone had to say, ignored the kid on Beavis and Butthead, and ignored the Metallica video and all that, and just said, I don't care. I like the music. And just listened to it and bought it. And just real quick, for everybody laughing at Kip Winger. In 2009, Kip Winger was presented by the U.S. General Harold Cross with an honorary plaque and U.S. flag that flown in Iraq for the song Blue Suede Shoes, which honors the service and sacrifice of the United States Armed Forces and their family. That's on the Winger 4 album. I mean, he gets all these accolades and he keeps making music and still I can go to work and go, yeah, I bought the new Winger album, and everyone's like, huh, they're still making music? But they chuckle. It's a shame. But I'm sorry. It's a great a great album. So yeah, I will stand by Winger.
Mm-hmm. And you know, that's part of the thing that drives me nuts, because there's guys out there that do it, still kicking out great music, but goes unnoticed because the entire market has been flooded with these half-baked, auto-tuned wannabes that just in other words, I am a supporter of new music. I'm a supporter of new bands. I think there are bands that need to stop. They need to cut it. I saw the latest live Cheap Trick. I am a veteran of 18 Cheap Trick shows going back to 1983. I heard this last tour. It started on the tour prior. It's time to go.
And yeah,
Robin, I love you. You're an idol of mine. It's time to go. When your son has to back you up and shadow you the whole time and you can't hit those notes anymore, it's time to pack it in. The solos aren't even getting played well anyway. It's the kids that are playing better than the adults. It's time to just say, you know what, you toured with your kids. How many artists can say they toured with their kids and their kids are part of the band? It's time to go. It's just time to go make records. Cool. Do some cool one-off things. But as far as touring out there, no. You got enough money. You got enough, with
do
everything.
they though? Because they keep making.
Yeah, but the thing is, to think about how many tours they go out with, and they're getting paid.
Oh
They're
yeah,
getting paid. Okay, so how many opening slots do they still do a year? I'm surprised his voice held up this long.
yeah.
I'm surprised. And a great job up until about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, it's
Rock Hall is where it started to go. And now it's burnt. His voice is fried. He can't do it. And that's
yeah,
understandable at his age, and he's burnt it out. I get it. It's going to happen. But in other words, there should be other bands. The reason why we don't have new rock stars, the reason why we don't is because there's too many people in the mix due to social and all these other platforms. There's too many people in the mix that are not that good, that are never going to be to that level. They should aspire to be Page, Plant, Jack
yeah.
Richards, but they'll never get to, and there's some that'll never get to that point. We should need to thin the herd out.
Oh yeah.
We need our rock stars back. I can go into a whole other show.
But that's a whole other show.
Okay, you got number 2?
No, we're on number 1.
No, number 2, or my number 2.
You're number 2.
My number 2. My number 2.
Number
Actually
2.
did an interview with him 2 years ago, which has got 24,000 views. And you know what it's like to interview one of your idols? That's right. The incomparable voice of one Russell Hitchcock from the band Air Supply.
Air Supply.
What's wrong with Air Supply?
Nothing.
Nothing if you're a cop from the Village People. What movie? What movie?
What was that again?
I said, he goes, what's wrong with Air Supply? Nothing if you're a cop from the Village People.
Oh, don't. Oh, I do. You got me on that one.
Rockstar.
Oh,
And their breakfast in the morning.
yes.
Yes. Incredible band. What? Look at the songs. I mean, come on, give me a break. We've heard their songs on the radio forever, and they're still touring. They're still playing places.
They play parks all the time.
But yeah, let me see. Frank Essler Smith. That would be Ralph Cooper on drums. That would be David Moyes on guitar. That would be Rick Sco on guitar. That would be David Green on bass. Of course, Graham Russell, and of course, Russell Hitchcock.
Graham Russell has 2 books of poetry, I discovered.
Yes.
I too saw them in concert.
Yes. And I guess one of the most honorable things is that one of the coolest things actually is that he said after the interview that's one of the best interviews he's ever done, because somebody actually knew the subject matter, which goes to show you, boys and girls, if you want to be a rock and roll journalist and you want to interview some of these people, know your subject matter through and through. Know your subject matter, because guess what? They appreciate it. They appreciate that you know what they've done in their career and not bounce around with stupid questions. And I love that. I love that people bounce around and ask them the same stupid questions.
Oh, yes.
All out of love. Did you know that? Blah, 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 blah. Stop.
Did you realize it was going to be that big of a
deep
hit?
cuts. We talked about deep cuts. We talk about live cuts that haven't been played since 83. Put it that way. When you get into those conversations and he goes, you know what? I got to tell Graham to do that. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. All right, here we go with the drum roll as I knock the mic all over God's creation. Okay, number 1 for Joe. What do you got?
Number one, there's not too many artists out there that can massage the heart and soothe the soul,
Massage the heart and soothe the soul.
soothe the soul with a voice, and that's Mr. Michael Bolton. That you cannot go wrong with Michael Bolton. Well,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was Michael Bolton. You heard Dock of the Bay. I was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
So had to buy the album. And then, of course, Soul Provider. This is really, this is even better. And then discovered that he was on MTV and he had Fool's Game. So I had to go out and buy the first album. But yeah. And can't, it's Michael Bolton. You can't go wrong with Michael Bolton. You just sit back, chill, and just let him work his magic and let him sing his songs. And it just, you feel soothed.
Yeah.
So I've seen him voluntarily in concert twice. So
Saw him twice in concert myself.
yes,
Saw him where he actually performed one of the arias from the aria record. And he did Forever. And he did Fool's Game.
when he did the aria, did someone stop him and he goes, "I didn't write that one. I thought I
No,
wrote that one."
nope.
That's
I was one of, I think, 5 people that at the end of it, he did such an amazing job with it that it sent chills down your spine. I was one, maybe 5 people that stood up after it was done and like standing O.
yeah,
People like, what are you talking about, dude? You know how hard that is to sing? Anyway,
exactly. And Michael Bolton did it with ease.
my number one. This is easy. I own everything that she's ever put out. I saw her first concert tour at Count Basie Theater with an incredible girl named Sherry Matthews, who turned me on to her music. Sherry, thank you so much. If you ever see this, you opened up a completely new world for me. And I will be forever, ever thank you for that. And because she turned my musical world around. I followed her ever since. Saw her on the recent tour. Wasn't too great. It's another one that I think it's time to go. I haven't been a fan of the last few records. Reindeer King was okay. Last decent one for me was Beekeeper, but you cannot deny the first 5 records were absolutely amazing. Amazing. I could tell you stories about her live and how she would absolutely make your jaw drop with just her, a piano, and a white light behind her. And I talk about the amazing Tori Amos. If you have
Incredible.
not heard this record in your lifetime or CD, whatever, I don't care. I don't like Spotify, but you need to listen to this record in its entirety. And then go listen to Under the Pink in its entirety. Then you listen to maybe the best record she ever put out. I'm always this was the record that turned me on to a whole new world of music. I listened to music differently at that moment in my life. But Boys for Pele might be a better record. Might be. So Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes, yes. So there we go.
Regardless if that album was better or not, the first album, the one that hooked you in, you will always go to that one. It's like a you're faithful to it.
Yep. Always.
You don't forget your first.
You never forget your first.
No.
Your first record
album
was what? Your first
Michael
record?
Bolton.
Ever that you bought?
Mine was Kiss Destroyer.
Kiss Destroyer, right.
Yes.
Yours was Kiss Destroyer. I was given Kiss Alive as my first record. But when I opened up my Columbia, I wanted to get more. So when I opened up my box of Columbia records in 1977, 78, it was Budokan by Cheap Trick. It was Love Gun. It was Rock and Roll Over. It was Alive 2. And my first record that I ever held my hands was, that was mine that I purchased and didn't pay for, was ELO Out of the Blue. And so we do like to do a thing. We're playing this for Leslie. It's a little something that we do here on the program, the WTF radio show, that we like to call Sports Ball.
The game where winners become losers and losers never win. This is Sports Ball.
All right, everybody, we're back here. We're playing Sports Ball for Leslie to get her some swag. And this is Joe, who admits is not a big sports fan. Not a big sports fan. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask him a series of questions. And if he gets all 5 of them right, Leslie's going to win some swag. All right. So here we go here on the WTF live cast. All right. Question number 1. Who won Euro 2024? What national team won Euro 2024? I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with train.
I did not need the hint because I know it's Spain.
Is it Spain? It's Spain.
That was with our discussion with our new friends.
Yes. Okay, question number 2. The white stitches on a football are called what?
Laces.
They are laces.
Laces out.
Laces out.
Thank you, Jim Carrey.
Little tricky one here. Number 3. An Major League Baseball bat is made of what natural element?
Wood.
You sure it's wood?
I'm sure it's wood.
It's absolutely sure it's wood. All right, number 4. Carlos Alcaraz just won this famous tennis tournament for the 2nd straight time, held in London. Is it the US Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, or the Australian Open?
Wimbledon?
Is it Wimbledon? It's Wimbledon. All right. 5th and final question. Leslie's going to get some swag if you get this one right. Okay. Here we go. Name the NHL professional hockey team from Edmonton.
Oilers.
Is it Oilers? It's McDavid. It's Draisaitl. It's the Oilers. Congratulations, Leslie. You win. Some swag will be going out to you right away. Thank you guys so much for playing. Bud, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Great show as always. And we'll kick it up next week every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on 99 WNRR YouTube live and also 99WNRR.com. You could also listen to us also on your Alexa at 99 WNRR on TuneIn every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. Guys, thanks a lot. Take care. Good job.
Peace out. Ooh.
Peace.